and understanding of exactly what was going on in Cobb County, because some comments were made that the way we do things up here and all this. If this were Columbus and the Muskogee County School District and all the chaos that goes on there, I'm very familiar with that, or Troup County and LaGrange, I'm very familiar with that. So I want to thank your staff, Senator Setzler's staff, and the best admin anybody could have. Her name is Google, for giving me the opportunity to research the history of this situation. Not only was I able to read the judge's order, but I was able to read the original lawsuit that was filed in Cobb County. And I'm very happy and pleased to see my good friend Eric Allen here today. I call him Representative Allen. We came into the Georgia General Assembly together, became good friends, and he and I have the same feelings about this as far as the politicalization of school boards. And when I read that first lawsuit, I was shocked at how many references to politics was in there, and sadly, how everybody was identified by the color of their skin as opposed to their role or whatever they were doing. And so, but I have a very clear understanding of what's going on there. I want to thank Senator Setzler for his hard work on this and providing me information. I know things about certain types of math now that they will wake me up crying in the middle of the night. But I do appreciate everybody getting me up to speed on the history of what's going on there in Cobb County. And I do feel that by moving this legislation forward, we are carrying out a responsibility that is very clear under the law in the Georgia General Assembly.
Thank you for that worthy discussion there, Mr. Whip. I do also want to thank Senator Estevez for giving us some more information to be disseminated. I think each of y'all received an email and some information in your packet on that. So, Senator Estevez, you have a question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick question about, and Senator Setzler, thank you for sending us some more information. I just had a question about where that information came from.
Yes, this is, I hired staff to help me pull this together. As you know, we as legislators develop some level of expertise in these things, but to make sure that we've got the kind of probity and preparation that it takes to do this consistent with the judge's order, I engaged staff as a legislator to help me do that. A couple of things that did, as you can see, is the demographic layout I provided both for total population, voting age population, and compactness ratings to be able to look at the benchmark 2012 plan, what was proposed under 2022, which was litigated, and then the proposed plan, how for all those criteria we've exceeded what was, we've addressed demonstrably the concerns of the court, and then also for core retention, the ability to keep the districts more similar, and specifically address what you raised in our committee hearing the other day, in specific districts, specific populations. As you know, there's many criteria we look at, race is only one of them. So engage staff to do that. A redistricting professional to help me do that. That's has the expertise and is the kind of expert that I think we can be proud of and would expect to address the judge's order and not make big mistakes.
Thank you, Senator. I think when my colleague asked for the science and asked for us to use resources from within this building, we do have experts in this building at the Legislative and Congressional Reapportionment Office that you would expect this data to come from. It concerns me that we would be relying on a staffer that essentially had spreadsheets where we have no source of truth that is paid for and hired by the state. I haven't been here very long, but I do know that in the past, when these maps and the data are presented, it's presented with this seal and from data using data that comes from this office. these are spreadsheets, and had I known that that was the standard that we were going to use, I would have had a staffer create some charts that I could use to argue otherwise. But
Well,
nevertheless, I do think it's important to point out, one, that the judge did make specific points that I believe are not addressed by this map, and two, that there is willingness from both parties to work together to have a map that all of Cobb, regardless of party, regardless of what you look like, where you're from, in Cobb County, will be proud of. And I hope that despite the resistance to have those conversations, that those who are open to those conversations continue to have those, and that we come to a resolution that is good for everyone in Cobb County.
Thank you, Senator Estevez. Said the,
Just real brief, Mr. Chairman, because this is an important, if it pleases the chair, very briefly.
you're going to be very, very brief.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To the gentleman's point, these maps that's before you were generated by a reapportionment office. In fact, changes were made by a reapportionment office in technical review, making sure that you had no anonymity issues. All of those things to produce the final map set was, in fact, produced by a reapportionment office. As you can probably expect, some of the forensic level of information to comply with every element raised in the court's order is arguably beyond the scope of our reapportionment office to hit every single question. So I think going to the reapportionment office with something that was thoughtful and prepared would be what our citizens would expect.
Thank you, Senator Sattler.
And I think it's.
We have a motion and a second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by our Majority Whip, a second by Senator Williams. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Favor. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 in favor, and all opposed, and 1 opposed. That concludes the business of our committee today. The motion was passed, and I'll have that reflected in our report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the committee.
Thank you, Senator Sessler. Said that. Hope everybody gets out without getting too wet today. Have a good weekend.